showed, our societies as a whole and our leadership as a whole. And we need to take this into account. And even if, let's say, the best happens, the variants are kept under control. We
remember what this guy was saying?
That,
so just really coincidentally,
are in this
so
together.
just to be clear, I keep talking about Chomo, are I guess you use the term gang of sex offenders that rape children and distribute material on the internet and stalk people. And stalkers will dig up more on you than yourself or whatever. At least they think they do. But what this idiot does is try to figure out what show is going to be playing later. Because they're all podcasts, and half of them we're listening to the second time they play. Okay, he spent 25 fucking minutes or whatever, 20 minutes dumping on us the last video, the next video in the playlist, to kill the sound. It takes him 20 fucking minutes of so-called hacking to accomplish that. The scary, scary 9th floor child molester.
400 as you head through King Road in South.
It's breaking his brain. Some animals know they shouldn't exist. It's breaking his brain that he's so old. I am not 3 years old, but he is still obsessing over me at the age of damn near 40. He is still obsessing over me. He's watching this video right now. But don't worry, so are other people stupid. And by the way, this view counter, or down here I guess it is, the viewer counter is not accurate. Not even close. The best I can figure, it's the number of digits in the number.
Process for us today will eventually get into the sunshine.
Hey, Chomo, you spent the last 35 minutes attacking my network, and I have 35 minutes to kill. Stupid.
13.
The news cycle starts at 5:32.
An unexpected shot in the arm for the country's COVID-19 vaccine rollout, as a shipment of Moderna vaccines, not expected to arrive till next week, is now set to touch down on Canadian soil this morning.
It comes as Alberta reports its first death as a result of a blood clot from the AstraZeneca vaccine, and health experts continue to unpack the latest guidance on the shot. 680's Jamie Pulver joins us live with the latest. Jamie.
Yeah, good morning, Alex. The vaccine rollout continues to ramp up with 1 million Moderna doses on the way. This is a week earlier than expected, with Canada actually
decided that the virus is not the problem. The problem is that people would look at them and say, well, the virus happened on your watch, therefore it's a personal failing of yours that we have a virus, and they treated it this way instead of, this is a crisis that I have to solve. They treated it as, this is an insult to me, and these people better stop dying and getting sick and making me look bad. And
you niggers have vaccine hesitancy. That's why you're 18% of the population and 27% of the cases, and that's why we spit at you. You need to get the vaccines. You need to get the vaccine. Sir, they've been waiting for the vaccine for 6 months.
Right.
dying from COVID is 50 times higher than your risk of a serious side effect from AstraZeneca.
Really? Because they said it was 350 times higher last night. Now it's 50 times higher. Wow. Just keep changing those numbers. It's 1,000,000 to 1. 4 in 1,000,000 is 1,000,000 to 1. No, it's 1 in 250,000. No, it's 4 in 1,000,000. No. Oh, it's what's the Austrians say? It's 1 in 40,000. What did they say here? Oh, that's 1 in 100,000. 250% difference.
Contact with a staff member who did test positive for COVID-19. Now, Ford is again pushing the issue of tighter border restrictions. This is an issue he's been harping on for some time.
Did you notice I've been a little taller tonight because I'm using a different...
During isolation, he came out and tried to push forward this issue of border restrictions. And
apparently these buckets last about 8 years.
Saying in the last 2 weeks, we've sent the federal government 3 urgent letters requesting immediate action on the borders. More can be done, he says, and more needs to be done. He says we can't sit back and, quote, watch the 4th wave of COVID-19 walk across our border. Now, keep in mind that in question period, it's a very good bet that Ford will not be facing any questions about the border and more about the scathing long-term...
Ah, yes, the other story Chomo was dumping on. Because, yes, we know, Bluetooth, and you spy on us. So sometimes I leave this camera running on purpose because Chomo thinks he's a genius and he's hacking me. It's a live stream, stupid. The KCRW. So the number one threat to democracy, according to American allies, is the United States of America.
5:35.
BBC World. It's either BBC World Service or KCRW, NPR.
Near Pearson Airport have tested positive for COVID-19.
Yeah, we know.
Celebrating a victory over Napoleon. I'm not the little guy Napoleon, another Napoleon. I think that's what Cinco de Mayo is all about. It's just one of these celebratory things about war. I mean, I've got Greek friends.
You're a retard.
Which one is this one? Oh, Opa, which one is this one? Opa. Yeah, well, it's still Istanbul, not Constantinople. It's still Istanbul, not Constantinople. Get over with you. Never mind. It's nobody's business but the...
You see what he just did? Because white people 40 years ago made fun of the fucking situation. It's culturally acceptable for him to do the same thing now because white people did that before. Oh, it's just a song.
Partially closed recently due to outbreaks. Peel's medical officer of health, Dr. Lawrence Lowe, says by reaching out directly to residents in workplaces and hotspots, they're able to address community transmission.
For example, the sheer number of white child molesters that attract to me and insist on arguing with me over why they're in my face and whether or not they're a pedophile and all the rest of it.
It's another busy day for
Because I don't have photos and witnesses.
Several clinics are being held in Scarborough starting at 8 this morning. 2,700 doses will be available at the Warden Hilltop Community Center for residents in 4 hotspot postal codes. Scarborough Village Recreation Center and St. Florence Catholic School will be open for those who live or work in the M1M and M1B postal codes, respectively. Albion Arena will be offering 2,400 vaccines for residents in the M9V and M9W postal codes. Yesterday, the clinic opened up to anyone
Why
whose
did you
postal
say
code
respectively?
began with M9 after lack of demand. It's unclear if that will happen again today.
What does respectively have to do with it?
Will be posted
With one
at
item.
680news.com.
A court ruling is expected to be handed down today on whether the province's COVID-19
Hey, these idiots grew up with computers.
Discriminatory. The constitutional challenge focuses on whether vulnerable people have had fair access to COVID-19 vaccines, including people with disabilities, homebound seniors, residents of hotspot neighborhoods, and the homeless. The challenge was launched in March. The man behind it wants the government to ensure public health units make equity central and to give them necessary resources.
Bad news for those hoping to hit the link soon. Outdoor activities like golf and tennis will remain banned in the province until COVID-19 case numbers go down significantly. Health Minister Christine Elliott says people need to continue limiting mobility as much as possible to reduce transmission. She also says the number of COVID-19 hospitalizations and patients in ICU would have to go down much more. The province brought in a ban on outdoor recreational facilities in April when it extended the stay-at-home order and imposed further restrictions amid soaring cases. Its science advisors, however, have been critical of the outdoor restrictions, saying they will not control COVID-19 and disproportionately harm children and those who don't have access to their own green space.
This is 680 News. An evening bike ride turned tragic last night. A little boy was hit and killed. 680's Karen Seolin reports.
A tragic scene in Mississauga. A bike crushed under a red Jeep. The Incredibles logo could be seen on the bike seat. That bike belonged to a 5-year-old boy trying to cross here Ontario at Elm Drive when he was struck and dragged along the road for some time, leading to fatal injuries. Constable Akil Mukin says the exact circumstances of this tragedy are unclear.
Leading to, separately. He didn't receive the injuries from that. That happened later when the truck got really mad.
Certainly witnessed this incident, who are certainly almost confident in saying that, again, given how populated this area is with condo buildings, that perhaps other people witnessed it, but may not yet have the opportunity to speak with our investigators.
One of those witnesses is the boy's father, who was with him at the time of the collision. The driver is cooperating, but Lucan says it's too early to say if charges are coming. I'm Karen Seolin.
680 News Time, 540.
My mojo ain't working, my mojo is down. My mojo ain't working, it's wearing a frown. I got the PD blues, baby. I get no loving every night.
Don't let your performance keep you down. Talk to Revita Medical. They've helped over 1.2 million guys worldwide. Visit revitamedical.ca and say goodbye to the ED blues.
I got nothing.
Pre-pandemic, Doug Ford planned to get rid of Mississauga, Halton, and Brampton's health network staff. These are the health workers who help families find the medical care and support they need. Now, Doug Ford says these same people are vital to helping hospitals and long-term care homes get through COVID. Premier Ford, you need them now. Don't toss them out later. Respect these needed workers so they can continue to help families in Mississauga, Halton, and Brampton today and tomorrow. A message from QP966.
Imagine doing what you love and not doing what you don't love. AGMRenovations.com. AGM is hiring renovators. If you're a renovator with your own business who loves renovating more than business, managing construction more than managing papers, and wants more time with family, call AGM. AGMRenovations.com. Imagine you're self-employed with consistent work. Do it.
680 News Time, 541.
Time for 680 News, traffic and weather together on the ones. Here's Helena Volka.
This report is brought to you by Mr. Lube. Looking at the situation on the southbound 400, it's not bad, just a little slower than you'd expect this time of the morning. They are still backing up and picking up the last of the cones. We did have it as all clear a while ago, but what I do see still some flashing lights. And it looks like they're still picking up the remnants of the construction from overnight. It's not as heavily backed up as it was before, but it will take you a few extra minutes to maneuver through there. If you're southbound Warden, the ramp to eastbound 407 is still closed, and the Kennedy ramps to the eastbound 407 still reported as closed also. Off the highway, the drive is okay, except in a couple of areas. Woodbine from Springdale to Salmon, which is north of Danforth, that has been closed off because of a collision. Emergency crews are on the scene. And we've got northbound Jarvis closed, Queens Quay to the Esplanade for long-term construction, that till November. That's also closed the bottom end of the eastbound Gardner ramp to Jarvis. You can't make a left onto Jarvis. You have to go straight through and get onto the lakeshore. This Friday through Sunday, Mr. Lube will donate $2 for every oil change towards the MS Society of Canada. Take care of your car and people with MS. No appointment needed. Next traffic report at 5:51 with the forecast. Jill Taylor.
Well, just a slight chance of showers for us today. The focus is on clearing. It may take the entire day, though, and a gusty northwest wind.
Multiple sclerosis. The Multiple Sclerosis Society. Okay. So the one disease that is known to have trigeminal neuralgia, suicide disease, as a symptom is multiple sclerosis. Sickle cell will kill you if you're jogging in the sun. Do you know what my entire, I believe it was grade 3 year or grade 4, whatever fucking year it was spent on? Jogging. The entire fucking year, doing laps all year round. In the winter, they had us doing it in the gym to raise money for, what was 125? That was 92. I had to do some math. Anyway, to raise money for MS. Yeah, they damn near killed me, gave me no education for the entire year. It's the only thing we did all year. You can think I'm joking all you want. They didn't teach us anything that entire year. Grade 3 was it? I'd have to think about that.
Within the American economy, the Dow.
So yeah, you're as useless as the Cancer Society. Give us money because other people are sick, and you tell them to get chemotherapy, even though it's been proven, it's NIMH or whatever is proven. You live 9 years longer on average if you don't get chemotherapy. What's chemotherapy based on? Mustard gas. That's when you mix human urine or anything acidic with bleach.
77.
That's right. Everybody knows it kills.
Up by almost a fifth of a cent. The exchange rate.
What I find funny is people that keep doing that to try to make other people sick, but they're the ones that get sick.
Still to come on 680 News.
Making the Canadian census fun. Impossible, right? No. Stats Canada has dropped some census-themed playlists.
680 News Time, 544.
She helped you take your first steps.
Despicable couple, Rod Baker and Ekaterina Baker. He was the CEO of Great Canadian Gaming. She's a C-list actress. They had their first hearing in the White Horse courtroom yesterday. They're the couple that actually flew halfway across the country, pretended to be motel workers in Beaver Creek, Yukon, when they were rolling out the COVID vaccines back in January, when there just weren't a lot of them. And they were initially ticketed with a $2,300 fine for failing to self-isolate for 14 days, allegedly failing to act in a manner consistent with their declaration when they arrived in the Yukon. They were distributing it to the Yukon First Nations up there, and they didn't appear.
These two white
they
people
remained in
just
Toronto.
Like
they didn't have to appear. Their lawyer didn't want to talk to anyone in the press. And one woman, she drove 5.5 hours from Beaver Creek to Whitehorse to hear the first day of hearings. Her name is Jeanette Vandermeer. She's a member of the First Nation. She was actually the COVID-19 response coordinator for that particular First Nations. And she was disappointed. She wanted to hear them explain why they did what they did. Been here 400
years.
They broke the quarantine rules, and they broke a lot, I think, moral rules as well. He ended up losing his job. He resigned after this story made international headlines. And that picture of him, it's not a very, it's from the company that he used to work for as CEO. He looks like Scott Bakula in between acting gigs. Like, look at that hair. I don't know. Anyway, a lot of people want to know why they thought they had the guts, the nuts, in fact, to do what they did. But now that we're all getting more vaccines, I don't know if that would have been an issue. But still, you go into a territory about 3,000 miles from your home, taking it from people most in need, not cool. Not cool at all. Morning rewind from yesterday. We rewind for the early birds. I had a chance to talk.
Was he talking about the Wet'suwet'en? Was he talking about Vancouver being built on a native reservation, not Indian land, a reservation? Was he talking about all the gold extraction from Whitehorse? Gee, I wonder, what was he just talking about? And by the way, don't worry, the guy, those two people, oh, they lost their job, they lost this, they lost that. But the mercury and formaldehyde, they'll have that inside them forever. They will take that with them everywhere they go, to the point where bodies are actually toxic. You can't breathe in the smoke when you burn them.
Regular moodiness and angst.
Folks at 15 and 45 past there.
Started using drugs. She said the family didn't ignore that red flag. They had talked to the school. They tried to get counseling, but the daughter didn't want to participate. She'd been trying to deal with depression. And
they wanted her to get counseling, but the daughter didn't want to participate. No. Counseling is for the person seeking counseling. If they're not seeking counseling, that's the first thing. It's not her. Didn't want to cooperate with. They wanted her to seek counsel. Really, that doesn't make sense. Why? So you can influence the way she thinks? Just wondering. That's the only possible answer. Here's the other thing. Confidential has no legal definition. And it's known. In this country, it's known. If a child says anything to a counselor, it will blow up in that kid's face. It's known. It's known that any money that belongs to a child will be stolen from them. It's known that the CAS workers steal, beat up, kill kids, all this shit. Oh, no, steal from. I mean, not steal kids, but steal from. They do that too. Hey, why was I in Metro CAS? I'm not white. I'm not Christian. Why was I in Metro? And I was already a ward of the federal crown. Right. So how the fuck did I get thrown on the street? Right. Where's my money, stupid? No, the money from my trust account, not what you think. Oh, taxes. Nope, not taxes.
Where that is. But as Debbie had suggested, there are flags. And I think that, to follow our gut. We have that instinct.
And she's going to tell the young woman how she should behave in this society, what's appropriate.
That list.
You know why that woman's alive? Because she quit smoking 20 years ago. She only smoked for 75 years.
To improve significantly over the summer and into the fall as more people get their shots. She does say we'll just have to keep.
Now, what did Buddy on the other station just say? Oh, you don't know because Tromo was dumping on the road, right? But we did hear it earlier tonight, so that's 2 videos back. There's millions of people infected that are creating variants, mutations every fucking day. Every time it reproduces.
CBC News.
Your vaccines don't work against variants, as the guy said. We just kind of hope so.
The company has been running tests to determine how well their shot holds up against the variants, and so far the data is really encouraging.
Really
680 News Time,
encouraging.
550.
I don't need to be encouraged, let alone really encouraged. I need the shit to work. It's like war. It's like war. Well, none of you seems to understand what mil-spec means. It must work every time.
Rapid COVID testing.
Where you going? I'm going to so-and-so's house. Who's so-and-so?
Yeah.
It's not important. Never mind. Like, we just want to know who he is. How do you know him?
Yes, yeah. And so again, that to me, those are
Yeah, but you don't want to know anything at all about your kids at all, except for things you can control. That person might influence them away from thinking like me. I must know who they are. But you don't give a fuck about the people that bully them, attack them, try and stab them, whatever at school. How many stabbings were there? So the last 2 years don't count. But in the previous, let's say 5 years, how many kids have been stabbed? How many killed in schools during school hours or right close to school hours in Ontario? A lot.
definitely.
But you don't care about those people. You want to pick and choose who their friends are, because that's the problem. You know, it's not my kid doing things the way I do them. It's the other kids influence them to being bad. The good stuff is me. The bad stuff is you.
There, so everything's fine on the southbound 400. All construction on the east and
Fucking
westbound
pathetic.
401 has
You white
wrapped up
people
for the
are
night,
fucking
so
pathetic.
nothing to be concerned with there. Pretty much all the construction really on all of the highways has wrapped up. The overnight construction, but not the ongoing project, of course, on the eastbound Gardner ramp to Jarvis. You can't make a left turn at the bottom of the ramp to get onto Jarvis. You have to continue straight through onto the lakeshore. That's to help facilitate some major work that they have to do to the water mains in the area. And also, we've got northbound Jarvis closed to Queens Quay to the Esplanade for that reason. Woodbine is closed both ways north of Danforth from Springdale to Salmon, and that is because of a collision emergency crews in attendance there. Next traffic report at 6:01 with Kyle Hawking. Now with the forecast, Jill Taylor.
Well, we've got a slow clearing process today, but we'll eventually get into that sunshine. May take until late afternoon into the evening, but we'll get there. Just a slight chance of some showers.
It's SAMMON.
That's below average. The average high
That's why you can't find it.
tonight, mainly clear and a rather cool low, 4 degrees. Tomorrow, some sunshine to start, but then back into the showers for Thursday night. High again about 13, and for Friday, some showers with the high near 10. The weekend, and don't forget Mother's Day, Sunday. Saturday looking pretty good. Sun and cloud will be into some showers, at least a slight chance for Sunday, Mother's Day. The high again about 12. Right now, mostly cloudy, 9 at Pearson, 10 at 680 News. The guaranteed high, 13.
Coming up at 6 o'clock, we'll have the latest on the vaccine rollout in this country, with 1 million doses of Moderna arriving early, and what the experts are saying about AstraZeneca following a death in Alberta.
680 News Time, 553.
Shane Beckhigh's Leaside Manor luxury condo at 3 Southvale Drive is now registered and ready to move in. A few two-bedroom and den, and 3 bedrooms with terraces are still available. Styled with impeccable finishes. Wish we had more. Make your appointment to tour the model suites at leasidemanor.ca. Again, that's leasidemanor.ca. Invest in Shane Beckhi.
Be the first to know
The moment it happens.
with 680 News breaking news alerts.
Powered by the Monitoring Center Home Security.
Now partnered with Tag Dispatch
Right now.
at 680news.com.
It's non-fucking stop. Wish we had more. It's really cool that we have all the. So that means they sold 70% of the project, and not the other 30. Right. So that means they sold all the smallest, most affordable units, the ones that are the easiest to rent out with a high turnover, and the most affordable, even though they're also the most expensive per foot.
Themed playlists. The different facets of Canadian culture through the sounds of our celebrated musical talent. That's how StatsCan puts it. 11 options, from contemporary Indigenous to Francophone Pride to True North Rap and Friday Night Kitchen Party. Now, each playlist has about 30 songs, which begs the question, how long does the census take to fill out? Oh, I'm Jeff Roman.
Coming up in 60 seconds, a slight slowdown for the city's real estate market, and the oil market is heating up. We'll have a business report.
680 News Time, 5:55.
Oh, no.
They won't mention anything happened between Iran and anybody else. They won't mention it. They won't mention that we sell $200 billion of arms to the Saudis, who are using them to kill Yemeni children. Oh yeah, the snipers are aiming for the children. Should I go on and on? Lebanon blows up. What do we send them? A plane full of toys. India does not have supplies. They physically need materiel. What does Canada send? Money. To buy what? There's nothing in the country for sale that they're looking for.
I realize that I engage in this behavior, but I engage in this behavior. I'm an adult. I'm of the age where I can make this decision. I'm still working. I'm still contributing to society. My life.
She's got her way in the world by sucking a lot of old white men's
dicks. My
dicks.
behavior. Whereas in your situation, son or daughter, there's consequences to this.
Because I say so. Again, the reasoning is because I'm older than you. How's that different from a child molester? I'm bigger than you. I'm going to make you do it.
For you, or whether it will take you to a place that you don't want to go.
Learning that people can find parents, empowering parent online.
Ooh.
You've got the online support.
Yes, we do.
That sounds like Youth Assisting Youth, another place that hires pedophiles. Oh, yes, I know for a fact.
Society.ca. We have 3 webinars that we post.
So remember, all the advice, let's assume she's been doing this her whole life, because it's just like teachers. Those who can do, those who can't teach. Let's assume she's been doing this her whole life. Every piece of advice she's ever given became outdated within 5 years. You need to type like this, staring this way, and like this, not like this. Like this, because we're all going to be doing typing. Oh, well, computer. Yeah, you're not listening. 1990, the GUIs you use that you fucking chomos keep thinking you're going to outsmart us with are based on the studies on us using computers with color screens and graphics in 1990. Yes, you can say no all you want. Just like nobody in my family is in the military, okay? I'm not native. I don't have a status card. I've never been to Gladue Court, and I don't have sickle cell. Okay. And calling me white, all I'm going to keep repeating is go back 5 generations. Find the white person. Find the white person in my fucking background, stupid. And yes, I will tear apart anybody like this. You're an opportunistic, criminal-minded predator. I'll tear you apart. I'll make your brain break your brain. No, you can't talk fast enough to get around it.
Yellen shaking things up a little bit.
And I've done it a number of times.
Looking at the Dow futures back up by over 100 points. The price for gold is steady at $1,776 the ounce. Canadian dollar at 81.40, up by a fifth of a cent.
I just hope that when I had it turned down, that he said something about the drama in the Middle East or something. The strife, the static.
Need window inspiration? Then you need to speak to the experts. Hi, I'm Tom Rokiki of Inline Fiberglass Windows and...
Oh, and by the way, just look at the dynamic of the two on that other station. He's looking for somebody to reinforce to his kid that being older makes it right. So he found somebody twice his fucking age to say it. Did she say he was right? No. She said that repeating what she said was right. Because he must do what she says too, right? So just so you know, all these old people getting abused in the long-term care homes, where it comes from is the people, the scum you go scraping through to find PSWs. This free tuition thing is not new. They go dragging the bottom to find these people. They hate somebody in their life that did that to them, and they take it on all old people. But it's kind of like the child molester stays fixated on 3-year-olds, not that 3-year-old as he ages through life. This is why Chomo's brain is breaking. I'm the one that got away, I guess. I don't know how many others did. He's losing his fucking mind and can't stop fixating on me. I've known him 35 years, or he's known of me, I guess would be the way to phrase it. Breaking his fucking brain. breaking his brain.
This is 680 News.
Breaking what's left of your child molesting, fucking dick sucking, what's the word? Knuckle under, boot licking.
Here's what's making news right now.
South African child rape prison gang member. That's what he is.
A week earlier than expected. What this means for the rollout as the country reports a second death.
And he's dumping. And he's dumping on my router right now.
He's trying to push the issue of border restrictions, but likely will face.
And he's trying to freeze it up while I'll be in some weird position. Yeah, do it some more. Yep, keep locking it up. Now, 2 minutes from now, I want the alarm to drop down and go off. Whatever. By the way, how come it's not still going on? You cleared it. You clicked on dismiss. I saw you.
And Bolton today, and more pop-up clinics will target hotspots.
Are you trying to kill the audio, Chomo? Yeah, bros, now it's the next minute. Why did the alarm turn off 30 seconds early? Oh, these are rhetorical. It's Chomo, we know.
General Motors and Loblaws Business Signal 26.
680 News Time, 6:01.
Traffic and weather together on the ones brought to you by 407 ETR at the Traffic Center. Good morning, Kyle Hawking.
Good morning, Alex. Good morning, Catherine. We've got a minor collision on the westbound 403 just west of Cawthra. It's just beyond where the Eastgate Parkway overpass is, in fact. Around that bend as you head towards Huron, Ontario, we've got a couple of vehicles on the right shoulder, and one is facing the wrong way. So 2 tow trucks on scene, waiting for other crews. They may block a lane here just because it's around that sharp turn. If you're traveling that West 403 just west of Cawthra, watch out for that activity on the right side, but no lanes blocked here and no delay. We've got pretty smooth drive elsewhere. No volume has really started to build just yet. A reminder, the eastbound Gardner ramp to Jarvis, no left turns at the end of it. And that's because northbound Jarvis has closed Queens Quay to the Esplanade for long-term construction. We have a vehicle rollover on Woodbine north of Danforth. Woodbine's closed Springdale to Salmon because of that. 407 ETR is a proud partner of Credit Valley Conservation and the first corporate supporter of the GTA's Credit Valley Trail project. 407 ETR for the things that matter most. Next report at 6:11 and with the forecast. Good morning, Jill Taylor.
Good morning, Kyle. Slow clearing today. A slight chance of some showers and a gusty northwest wind. Right now, mostly cloudy. 9 at Pearson, 10 at 680 News. Today's guaranteed high, 13.
680 News Time, 6:02.
It's a bonus shipment capable of protecting a large city from COVID-19. Canada's vaccine rollout gets a surprise boost today from Moderna.
It comes as a new report out of Alberta poses a renewed challenge for public confidence in the AstraZeneca shot. 680's Jamie Pulfer is here live with the latest vaccine developments. Jamie.
That's right, Catherine. Almost 35% of Canadians have had at least one vaccine dose so far, and that number is about to increase even more.
For Moderna, we're picking up our next shipment tonight in Europe, and by tomorrow morning, 1 million Moderna doses will be on the ground in Canada.
That good news from Prime Minister Trudeau yesterday, meaning those doses will be here this morning, a week earlier than expected. And that brings the grand total of doses coming into Canada this week to 3 million when you factor in the ramped up Pfizer delivery. And as many try to navigate the messaging from the National Advisory Committee on Immunization, calling Pfizer and Moderna the preferred vaccines, the country reports a second death linked to AstraZeneca, an Alberta woman in her 50s dying from a rare blood clot. Now, GTA infectious diseases Dr. Suman Chakrabarty tweets, at the current time, when we have huge amounts of COVID in the community, the risk of mortality from the virus greatly outweighs the risk of side effects from vaccine.
As far as the government is concerned, because you're our property. So remember, all these people yesterday go, oh, the government doesn't make any sense telling us not to use this vaccine, but we should use this one. And this woman died last night, then became part of the news cycle last night. Everybody that was on the air yesterday, so they had all Monday to think about it. Okay, this thing dropped Friday. All Monday, they wait to see what everybody else says. So on Tuesday is their first main response. This is so dumb, it makes no sense. And this woman dropped dead right after.
As well as raising the specter that perhaps that would be behind a fourth wave. Ahead of his return to the legislature today, Ford was on Twitter saying he spent the last 2 weeks in isolation, sending the federal government 3 urgent letters requesting immediate action on the borders. Now, this comes as a Facebook ad sponsored by his own education minister, Stephen Lecce, contained a petition calling on the federal government to ban
why he's
all
writing
non-essential
letters?
travel to Canada. Lecce even raising the issue.
Pens and paper you can get basically anywhere for free. And the postage to the Prime Minister is free. And he's got 2 weeks to kill.
And the gaps that remain.
Now, the federal government continues to say that international travel accounts for less than 2% of any new COVID cases, including the variants. And some argue this is the Ford government's attempt to distract from the scathing report on long-term care, which accuses the province and Minister Merrilee Fullerton of acting way too slowly to stop the devastating spread of the virus among seniors in long-term care and nursing homes. At Queen's Park, Kevin Meisner, 680 News.
680 News Time, 6:05. The quarantiners have been quarantined. Toronto Public Health revealing the extent of a COVID-19 outbreak amongst the staff of a hotel near Pearson Airport housing returning travelers. 680's Carl Hansky is outside the Crown Plaza.
Again, playing games with words. They're calling it a quarantine hotel. That's all fine and well. But the people working there that are infected, they're not subject to any quarantine whatsoever. First of all, they're essential workers. But aside from that, they're being advised that they should self-isolate.
Low. The hotel is a designated.
And yes, Crown means Corona.
The risk is low. The hotel, as I just said, mentions it remains open, and as it provides this essential service, it's one of 20 quarantine hotels in the city for air travelers arriving from abroad to stay at while awaiting their COVID test results. But those who work in the buildings around this hotel, they're mad that they haven't been told there's an outbreak here. Reporting live near Pearson, Carl Hansky, 680 News.
680 News Time, 6:06. Amazon is the target of workplace vaccinations in Peel Region today. And it's another packed schedule for pop-up clinics and GTA hotspots. 680's Laura Carney joins us live with the rundown. Laura.
And Alex, getting shots into the arms of essential workers in Peel Region continues today with workplace clinics set to take place at the Amazon plants in Brampton and Bolton. These facilities have been extremely hard hit by COVID-19.
Plants, because they produce something there.
Recently due to
they make shit now, really?
I
thought they were just sorting packages.
At least 8 on the schedule. 3 vaccination clinics are taking place in Scarborough, including one at the Warden Hilltop Community Center. That's for residents in the M1J, K, L, and M postal codes. 2,700 doses will be available today. That one opens at 8 o'clock. There's also one running at St. Florence Catholic School in Scarborough for the M1B postal code. It opens at 9, but you will need a ticket to secure your spot. Those will be handed out starting at 7 o'clock. In Rexdale, Woodbine Racetrack is hosting a clinic that's from 10 until shop.
WWW. That's 9, all right? Where am I going with this? World Wide Web. That's 3. She spent more airtime pausing than just saying the fucking whole postal, the full 3 digits of the postal code.
Going up at 680
The
News.
white people are so smart.
680 News.
680 News Time, 6:08. A young boy out for a bike ride with a parent died in hospital after being struck by a vehicle in Mississauga. 680's Karen Seolin has more from near Hurontario and Burnham Thorpe.
Into tragedy when a 5-year-old boy out with his dad was struck trying to cross Hurontario at Elm Drive and killed. The bike could be seen stuck underneath a red Jeep at the scene. The seat had a logo from The Incredibles on it. Constable Akil Mukin says the boy was taken to hospital in critical condition.
I am saddened to say that 5-year-old child has died as a result of the injuries that they sustained. On behalf of Peel Regional Police, we'd like to express our condolences to the family and friends of this child and to all others that have been affected by this tragic incident.
The exact circumstances of this
Overcompensating. So why does Peel Regional Police, why does Toronto Police hire all these gay cops? To overcompensate for the Pussy Palace and bathhouse raids. You got the guy that lisps, put him up in front of the mic. He made up on behalf of and he's lisping the whole time. You're overcompensating. You, your employer, all of you, overcompensating. And that's to show that they aren't bullies because they've been caught on tape repeatedly beating up teenagers and stealing their beer and weed. Peel Regional Police, the pussies of the fucking province. They're mad because the Toronto police never pieced them off for all the cocaine they brought through Pearson for the last 30 years. And how the fuck else did you think it got in? You investigated Peel Regional and the CBSA over and fucking over, didn't you? You couldn't figure it out, huh? Because I'm a lying little nigger fuck. Just like nobody tried to assault me either, right?
News time 6:10.
Go disprove what I said. You can't.
Conditioner sale, where you can save.
Hey, Toronto police smuggle cheese. Why wouldn't they smuggle cocaine? And I mean literally the dairy food product, and not some street name for a drug.
So don't wait. Call today because it's a great time to beat the summer rush and get $1,200 off a select air conditioner for a great deal now.
They put the guy with the list up front to show you they're not bullying, picking on people for being different. You see what I'm saying? They put him, shove him right out front, highlighted his difference.
Coy brothers.
By the way, if you list, can you like spit every once in a while to minimize that? You managed to form the words almost perfectly.
Kubota zero-turn lawnmowers, tractors of all sizes, Kubota skid steers and excavators. We got lots.
Now that's Dutchman. What color are
So
they?
many Kubota parts if you need them from the largest Kubota dealer in Canada.
Right here in the GTA.
Don't be green with envy. Get an orange Kubota from Coy Brothers.
1919 Wilson Avenue, KOOYBROS.com.
Hi, Anthony Longo here with the hot tip. Our delicious hot bar is now full service. Yep, the tastiest foods prepared fresh in-store and served up for you, ready to take home. Or have them delivered by Uber Eats. And for just $10, you can get tasty meals like meatballs and pasta. Order in-store or online for takeout. It'll be the best $10 you'll spend all week. Or next week, or the week after that. For quality that meets your family standards, trust ours. Longo's.
6 City News time 6:11.
Traffic and weather together on the ones brought to you by City. Here's Kyle Hawking. Well, all of our construction has cleared from the overnight, but we do have one collision on the westbound 403 west of Cawthra. Vehicles on the right shoulder, looks like a pair of them, with some tow trucks on the scene as well. And one of the vehicles in this collision has spun around facing the wrong way. So we do have OPP on the scene as well. Although the OPP cruiser is on a flyover in the area. He just walked across the field to get to this scene of this collision. So the OPP well off the highway, but tow trucks and a couple of other crews there. No lanes blocked, just a minor slowdown. West 403 heading through the area. In fact, it doesn't look too bad at all, West 403 west of Cawthra, but around a sharp turn, so keep an eye out. The rest of the highway's fine. We've got closure on city streets, though, of Woodbine from Springdale to Salmon, which is north of Danforth. Collision here with one vehicle that rolled over. Covering the latest news stories in our neighborhoods to across the city. City News is everywhere. Watch City News Night from nightly at 6 and 11 only on City TV. Next report at 6:21, and with the forecast, here's Jill Taylor.
Well, we had some showers earlier this morning for the North GTA and a slight chance this morning. Otherwise, a lot of cloud for us. Gradual clearing, though. By late this afternoon into the early evening, we'll be into the full sunshine. Guaranteed high 13 degrees today, gusty northwest wind. And tonight, mainly clear. Wind will settle down, rather cool, 4 degrees for the low. Tomorrow, some sunshine to start, the high again 13, and then back to showers for Thursday night. Right now, mostly cloudy, 8 degrees at Pearson, 10, and cloudy at 6 City News. Today's guaranteed high, 13.
6 City News time 6:13.
Now the Dynamic Funds Market Minute.
Over to the 6 City News Business Center, and here's Mike Apple.
Good morning. We're looking at the markets this morning. Looking okay, with the Dow futures up 102 points. Price for oil, it's on the move. It's up 87 cents to 66.56. Testing more than 1 year high here. And natural gas is up 1/3%. All of that bodes well for the energy stocks on the TSX coming up today. Before the bell, we'll get earnings from General Motors and Loblaws. The price for gold is up $1.90 at $17.78 an ounce. And our dollar at 81.40. That's up 15/100ths of a cent. The exchange rate below $1.23. At the Business Center, I'm Mike Apple.
Think that investment fees are all that matter? Sometimes the quest for wealth isn't so simple. Learn the true value of advice at dynamic.ca/advice.
Still to come on 680 News. Morning headlines, Ed.
Who still isn't sure about the COVID vaccine?
I'm a doctor, an actual medical doctor.
Well, Jimmy Kimmel and some friends are here to state the obvious.
6 City News Time 6:14.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids.
All right, let's try this once more.
Donate online.
Costs, they say they will spend, the Conservatives, $25.5 billion on education next semester. That would be an increase of 2.2%. Speaking with our friend Jeff MacArthur yesterday, NDP education critic Mary Stiles says it's too early for government to be pushing parents to decide whether or not to send their kid to school or keep on virtual learning permanently.
The government right now, because they're coming up.
You're spending $10,000 per student. What's a $300,000 per class? Let's say, I don't know how many's in a class anymore. Let's say it's 30. 300,000. So 97,000 goes to the teacher. What do you do with the other $203,000 when you don't buy books every year? No, you don't. There's not enough books for each kid. No, there's not, etc., etc., etc. Well, all the years where you did that, you should have the money still from those things you didn't pay for. What are you spending $203,000 plus on a classroom every year? In fact, that's not per year. They love presenting things this way. Next year, yeah, 8 months out of the year, or 9 or whatever.
Whether they want their kids in class or they want their kids at school, or at home rather. Fernanda Yachapaksi with the Ontario Parent Action Network.
So it's actually the equivalent to $400,000 a year plus.
The government's even planning on keeping the schools open or closed next year.
It's disappointing. If there is a long-term plan to keep it permanent, make it permanent, then it should be said now.
It's disappointing. So again, Asian culture, you'll let the women speak as long as they say stupid shit. 80% of the schools do not have ventilation systems. And the 20% that do, guess what? They don't turn them on. Does she have anything to say about that?
I'd love to read it.
If it's going to be closed, make it permanent. If it's going to be closed, they tell us it's closed. Okay. Do you understand why they're closed? No. No concept. Then this has nothing to do with culture of race, but the culture here in Ontario. All these adults want their kids locked in a room with no air, lead in the water, asbestos, mold, the off-gassing from all the crap in the school. There's formaldehyde and cyanide and all sorts of shit off-gassing from that. And then you yell at them to try harder in school. And it was like this for you, and it was like that for you. So it can't possibly be hard for blah, 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 blah. Brass plumbing fixtures in Canada contain 1/8 lead. They're legal. 12.5% lead, perfectly legal to label it brass. And that's why you have aluminum pipe screens giving all the crackheads Alzheimer's, because you want them to live longer, but you need to make sure you've got residents in the long-term care, and they're all labeled as stainless steel, silver, gold, whatever, trademark, stainless steel, trademark, brass, trademark, silver, trademark. The city pays more for 5 aluminum screens buying in bulk than I do for 6 stainless steel screens. My screens last 2 years. The aluminum screen lasts 1 use. Explain it to me.
Needs more dog. That dog beer needs more dog. That was a red ticket.
Saturday, May 8th.
We want the schools open for free babysitting, so we go make money to buy stuff for what? What exactly? Why are you all opposed to having fresh air in the classrooms? Oh, well, open the windows. That's natural ventilation. No, it's not. The windows are right next to the road. They get car exhaust. The ventilation systems draw the air from up on the roof as far as possible, as far as physically possible from the road. But unburned hydrocarbons and fucking carbon monoxide won't do anything to a child, right? And by the way, in the law books, when it says natural ventilation, that doesn't mean, oh, there's a hole in the wall, so it's ventilated. There's a window open, so it's ventilated. That's not what it means. Natural ventilation means it's set up so that no matter what direction the wind blows, it pushes the air down from the roof through the building. They used to use the term cross ventilation. So when I counter something and show that it's not true, it's made up, it doesn't take long for it to get around. So up until about 10 years ago, you used to hear white people all the time, oh, cross ventilation, they'll open up the door and a window. Cross ventilation, it's a thing. It's a thing. It's like a science I invented. It's not a thing.
They don't say that no more. Now they say natural ventilation. Why do they say natural ventilation? They're alluding to the fact that it's an actual legal term. And they're pretending that they've met the requirements of the law. Oh, it's natural ventilation. Hey, what's natural mean? There's no legal definition of natural. It says there must be mechanical ventilation or ventilation. So it's all mechanical. There's no definition of natural. Natural ventilation, like cross ventilation, you know. Garage. The fucking white South African. I'm supposed to go, oh yeah, that means we're going to go have a fight. So I'm going to fight with you here in the garage where there's 6 cameras recording me assaulting you. That makes a lot of sense, right? White people, they're all the same way. They're all short-circuited in the brain.
6 City News Time, 6:20.
We all know family and friends have been recommending Capital Direct for years, and now with the advent of FlexiLine or a traditional equity loan, your options are even better. Compared to the banks these days, Capital Direct's lending criteria are less strict. Whether you could use $50,000 or $1.5 million, your money could be in your bank account within days. Rates are near record lows, so call Capital Direct today at 1-800-DO-CAPITAL to see what's available for you.
CA. Welcome to McDonald's. Right now, every order of fries helps families with sick children.
In that case, we'll take all the fries.
A portion of the proceeds from all fries sold from April 20th to May 10th supports Ronald McDonald House Charities Canada.
6 City News Time, 6:21.
Traffic and weather together on the ones, brought to you by Relax-A-Care. Here's Kyle Hawking. Well, some minor volume building, plus we have a minor collision on the westbound 403 just west of Cawthra. You've got activity on the right shoulder. Collision here involving 2 vehicles. One has been towed away already, but the other one that's still there is facing the wrong way. So we have a couple of tow trucks in the MTO alongside that vehicle. But no delay here. Everything's on the right shoulder. I will note, though, it's around that 90-degree bend between Cawthra and Huron, Ontario. So just keep an eye out as you make that turn. We have a fairly smooth drive elsewhere. A bit of volume now on the eastbound QEW from Royal Windsor to Ford Drive. And then the other spot that's getting busy is on the westbound 401 Markham Road to west of McCowan in the Express. Also seeing some volume starting to build on the southbound Don Valley. In fact, it looks slowing from York Mills now to Lawrence, south of Lawrence. And also the eastbound Gardner slowing a little over the Humber Bridge. So far, just this minor volume starting to build. On city streets, Woodbine is closed north of Danforth from Springdale to Salmon for a vehicle rollover. Enjoy deep relaxation in your own home with a massage chair from Relax-A-Care. Choose from a huge selection of full body and luxury models. Visit relaxacare.ca. Next report at 6:31 and with the extended forecast. Here's Jill Taylor.
Well, just a slight chance of some showers for us today. We'll get into a gusty northwest wind and some clearing, but it is a slow process. It may take the entire day to get into that sunshine, but hey, I'll take that sun. Guaranteed high 13 degrees, 4 for the low, mainly clear, rather cool tonight. That wind will settle down, and then we'll have the clouds increase.
So she's a little slow, but she's been at this job a long time. They used to, I'll take that. And I said in one of these videos, you white people always acting like you have an option as to the weather you're getting. No, I don't want that. And she's a little slow. She just used it again. As white people, it's up to us, and I decided it will be like this today. No, you didn't.
Climbs to 10.
Now, if it's not the way they want, they get all broken in the head, like Chomo's broken in the head.
Premier may face at Queen's Park today in his return from isolation.
6 City News Time.
Remember, this started with him throwing blood in my face, and now his brain is broken. Why did he throw blood in my face? As far as I can tell, it's because I'm black. There's no other reason. That and the thing about him trying to fucking harass me when I was a kid in like the 90s or whatever. That's the only other thing it could be. I'm presuming that, I'm deducing that because I don't need to remember every child molester's fucking face over the decades. I just need to know how a child molester acts because it's like waving a flag. You guys you're so easy to spot. You think somehow I've learned something that I'm going to teach parents that they'll be able to spot it too. No, the way it works is you target kids who you can see are not being well protected, defended in some way. There's nothing I could teach those parents. I know you think I'm doing something that makes them know what a child molester is. Those parents that know that and won't let you near their kids and all the rest of that shit, don't know me. They didn't learn that from me. It's instinctive to most humans. But here in Canada, we help everything survive, even people that shouldn't breed.
Then tell him to shut up.
I mean, that polio shot we gave your kid, and then your kid not getting polio, well, those two things are related.
How about this? You do your job,